My name is Kevin Neglia, and I'm the owner and founder of Locomotion New York, a movement studio on Long Island. Today we're going to talk about the system of locomotion, a system that was taught to us by Ido Portal and is basically an expressive form of strength, mobility, and coordination. Consider the system of locomotion like a container, and inside that container is all of the familiar patterns you know, like squats, push-ups, lunges, and even hand balancing. We know it's important to be strong, we know it's important to be mobile, and we know it's important to be coordinated. But we're not always combining all of those together in unique and novel ways. Locomotion presents unique challenges for all three, and especially together. A lot of us are used to doing a particular type of squat or one form of a push-up, or maybe we're even giving some variety, but it's still back and forth, up and down, side to side. The system of locomotion blends these patterns together in a continuous and circular fashion. Flow is a term that's used a lot and thrown around, but it really does apply here. Eventually you find a flow. You find the blending of these patterns together so that one moves into the next, and to the point where you're not even really thinking about it anymore, but you're just feeling it as you go through. Something we call improvisation. This system is packing so many qualities into one uniform concept. You're building tremendous strength, active mobility, coordination, joint resiliency, and you also get the added benefit of being able to inject a bit of creativity and maybe even your own style into it. It's no longer just push-ups or squats, but you add a little bit to it as well. Locomotion is a really complex system, but we start simple, even if it's just learning your first push-up. The nice thing is that there's endless growth and opportunity. And as you get stronger and more mobile, more opportunities open up for you. A lot of retraining has really well-defined parameters. Just like when we do back squats or regular push-ups on the floor, there's not really a name for all of the movements we experience between the lines or in between different movements. And locomotion blends those really well. So even though we don't give every movement that we can possibly do a name, it doesn't mean it's any less important than the ones that we do. So maybe you see us crawling around and performing a weird pattern that you've never seen, and you're asking yourself, why are they doing that? I'd like to ask, why aren't you? If you look closely, a lot of it is the same patterns that you might practice now. They're just push-ups in a slightly different way, or squats in a slightly different way. Maybe I'm spinning or turning, or maybe I'm reaching my leg in a different direction, or maybe I'm only staying in the bottom of the push-up instead of pushing up and down. Lastly, it's playful, it's fun, it's explorative, it allows you to be curious. People are really focused on technique and strict form, and for good reason. But this is the time to bend or break those rules a little bit, to get strong in angles that we don't normally find ourselves in, a concept we learned as organic strength. A lot of times locomotion pieces are named after animals, which we draw a ton of inspiration from. But at the same time, we can move this way, and we should. So the better question is not, why are we doing this, but why are we not? And what do we lose by not doing it? What kind of strength and mobility are we neglecting when we don't practice these patterns, and when we don't get closer to the floor and spend some time, as our teacher describes it, under the table? As I said in the beginning, locomotion is an expressive outlet for all the qualities that we've worked really hard to develop. It's a chance to actually use the strength and use the mobility that you've worked so hard to build. And it's an extremely rewarding and fun way to do it. So now you've got some clarity on what locomotion really is. And hopefully you'll start integrating it into your practice already. So instead of asking yourself why, ask yourself, why not?